Hello YouTube land and welcome to Force In Unison Live, episode 12. Tonight we're gonna celebrate because EA has bended over our will. We're shoving loot crates up EA's ass. And I am really happy about it. So we're gonna talk about Battlefront 2. We're also gonna talk about Game Awards, Game of the Year, and of course, and most of us, we're gonna have a little bit of fun, baby! Yeah, we're here! Of course, I am your host, Dantes, and joining me, like always, Caliones. How you doing, Caliones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And yes, we've actually had that revelation a little while ago about EA changing. We're going to talk about if that's enough, or if we should stand put and stay where we are. But Dantes, go ahead and take it over so we can talk about everything that we have in store today.
So yes, let's do quickly a rigmarole. I got some Battlefront gameplay showing up on the screen so you guys can enjoy it. The sweet gameplay, what you hear our sweet voices. But of course, let's do a rigmarole. Welcome to Force In Unison Live, episode 12. Right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment. You can make these two crazy MS happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get that podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy, Caliones. With all that said, Caliones, take it away with the biggest piece of news of the day. But of course, Caliones will build a story and then we'll get to that big piece of news. Go ahead, Caliones.
Okay, so basically, you know how like loot crates has been the big thing about for pretty much most of the games coming out, especially multiplayer games. It exploded with I guess Battlefront is the one that's taking the heavier brunt on here, but Shadow of Mordor was the first one to feature it in a big way and to garner a lot of criticism. But when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 2, EA has taken the microtransactions offline. Star Wars, they said that, well, you have the ability to purchase crystals, in-game currency, and all of that, but now those have become unavailable. So I have to say, personally, I'm really proud with all their gamers that spoke with their wallets. You guys made a statement, and this statement actually worked. EA is backtracking, but Dantes, is it enough what they're doing, or should they do more?
Oh, keep going with the story. Explain about the Reddit post and then how much time it takes to open the game, and then we'll go with our discussion about this big piece of news.
Okay, so basically, when it comes to the Reddit post, they had somebody like go through the game, analyze, and they stated that that it would take approximately like 40 hours to earn enough in-game currency to purchase the boxes. So it would be a really extremely big grind when it comes to those boxes. But this was they started talking about the pricing, reward structure, and that the equivalent of having to play an enormous amount of hours to get the loot boxes, or you can actually shell out approximately like $2,100 to be able to get all the currency, all the items, everything in game. So it was a crazy amount that you have to spend on there. Of course, most of the people might not spend, but you still have those big fishes that the big companies are after, and there were going to be some that were, I'm pretty sure, willing to spend that amount. But $2,100, it's an insane amount to spend on a $60 game. What did you say, Dantes?
Yes, that is crazy amount to unlock everything. Remember we were saying, oh, look at Final Fantasy. It takes like 40 hours or like 80 hours to do everything. Woo, yippee-doo. Imagine spending, what was it total? 4,100 or so hours, whatever it was, right? So crazy amount of time just to unlock everything. But here's the catch, Caliones, right? If you wanted to, you could spend the $2,100 and then you got everything, and then EA was going to be like, yee, cha-ching, cha-ching to the bank for all the suckers. But I think that's why I wanted to build the story. First, it started with the big Reddit post. Uh, Gamers just completely destroyed that post where EA was basically damage controlling, trying to justify what they were doing, right? Post was the most downvoted post in Reddit history. Awesome. Great job, guys. That's the stuff that you guys need to do. Second, the news came out about how much time it would take to do everything, or how much would you spend to do everything. Great. People saw that. People were like, this sucks. This is the worst travesty. Then came out the people playing EA early access about the game and saying, look, this is play to win. Like, easily. People who pay for the stuff are going to be ahead of people, and they're going to show. And they're going to be number one. They're going to kick your ass because they got all the star cards, the better weapons. You know, they can unlock their heroes first and stuff like that. So, again, you know, it just shows you that you can't win, right? Because you are gonna get your ass kicked with people who pays for the game. This is a mobile strategic in a freaking $60 game, pure and simple. There's no buts around it. Why don't make it free to play? If you make it free to play, then who cares? Then everybody can play the game, and then whoever pays for the shit, it's fine. You can do that, and then you can play the game. It's all good. That's how mobile games treat the industry. So if EA wants to win that money with the big whales, like everybody keeps saying, just put it free to play. But then came out the news that EA have backtracked for now. This is clear, guys. Please be careful. Read this statement from EA. They're going to remove microtransactions for now because they want to fix the balancing of the game first and then implement microtransactions, right? But to me, what that's telling me, and Caliones, please chime in when I finish this day, but to me, that's what that's telling me is, oh, let's remove it now. Make a lot of people are canceling the game or asking for refunds. They'll come back, they buy our game, and then in a couple of months, they'll forget about the whole loot box. And here you go, bend over, baby, loot boxes are back. So that's why I'm asking peeps out there, do not fall for this. Do not fall for the games that EA are playing. They build games. Yeah, I know it's Star Wars. I know you love Star Wars. I understand. But you have to be strong because you guys are winning right now. Keep pushing it to EA. Show them that this game is a failure so they do not try this bullshit again. Go ahead, Caliones.
Okay, so well, to talk about the specific numbers, Soaring Camper from Star Wars Gaming, he had created a formula, and he basically, calculated the percentages of how much it was going to get, or how much time it was going to take for you to get all the items on the game. So, based on his formula, it was basically the equivalent of getting 3,111 loot, 11 crates. 3,111 crates for you to get all the items, meaning that you will have to play for approximately 4,528 hours, or the equivalent of 6 months, in order to be able to get everything in the game. Either way, so you had that option. You had the option of playing about 4,500 hours, which is kind of 6 months nonstop, or you had the option of shelling out $2,100 to be able to get everything in game. And like Dantes, he can tell you, like, he is one of those players that he has to get everything in the games. He likes to complete everything, and even though he doesn't play multiplayer games or games like Star Wars, so he doesn't really have to worry about that portion. But
wait. To clarify, before that, I did everything on The Last of Us because that game is amazing, and I had to play even online. So
No, but The Last of Us was mainly a single player campaign game with multiplayer.
A really good multiplayer aspect.
Yes, but Battlefront 2 is the other way around. It's correct. A multiplayer game with a single player campaign.
Yep.
Even though the single player campaign does matter because it is canon story wise, so it does deal with what happens in the Star Wars universe, and their story is part of all of that. So at some point, I would like to play it, but right now as it is, I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So, but yeah, that's where EA was. He wanted to just get into people's pockets. They wanted to use the Star Wars brand to push people into spending that amount of money. And this is something that I believe in 2020 is when the deal in between EA and LucasArts or Disney is going to expire. So then another company can bid on getting the Star Wars brand. So with stuff like this happening, and also with how they basically not cancel, but they are reworking the other Star Wars game and making it into a multiplayer game. Hopefully things like that are going to change and are going to stop before the deal expires if EA wants to keep this going. But the way that they were basically using this brand, using Star Wars, a beloved franchise, just to like fill out their pockets even more so that they're already doing with other games.
Yep.
So, and we're not talking about FIFA 18, like collecting the cards and things like that. That doesn't really affect the game. But with Star Wars Battlefront, it does affect the game. And like Dante stated, it is play to win, or was until they actually stopped all of this. So hopefully, whatever fix they're doing, they're gonna stay away. They're gonna use it just for cosmetics and nothing that has to do with people or players having an advantage over other players if they're willing to spend money or play an insane amount of hours just to be able to get those things.
Yep, I agree 100%. A couple of corrections from the chat. The chat is active today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Random Gaming Channel is saying that it's called loot crates, not loot boxes. That's fine. Loot crates, we learn. But still, loot crates sucks. And the worst part is, like Caliones was saying, it is pay to win. You pay for those loot crates. They have gambling tendencies too, because then you want to spend that money because you're looking for that item, because you're looking for that star card. You keep spending and spending, and they keep dingling in front of you. Oh, you want this weapon? Oh, keep spending on loot crates. Loot crates, loot crates. So, you know what I'm saying. It sucks. I mean, loot crates are one of the worst things that are being implemented in gaming. Again, if you're going to implement mobile tactics, keep it free to play. Then, pure and simple. Just keep it free to play. If you want to put that bullshit, just keep it free to play. The second piece is, again, I just wanted to remind people, it's just they did turn it off. They did shut down the microtransactions. It is only temporary. They will bring them back. Trust me. And like Random Gaming Channel said, they canceled that problem with everybody thinking you are wasting your money on that, right? So, again, it's a problem. Hopefully, things will change. A couple other comments. PS with you. Xbox says that the EA sucks. Sean said EA sucks. So again, a lot of people just are really, gamers are standing up to EA, and they were trying to push the envelope, and we need to keep pushing back so that things like this won't happen again, right? So we'll see what happens. I know there's a lot of Star Wars fan out there, If you want to play the game, it's your choice. It's your money. You can do whatever you want. Just remember, if you support this, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Anything to add, Caliones, before we move on?
I believe Shadow of Mordor was the number one game when it came to the MPD. Oh, not the
No, I don't
MPD,
think
but
it was. No.
no, but talking about if you put everything in perspective from the game selling to whatever money they made in game, that's players spent in the game. I believe it was the game that made the most money for the month, even though Super Mario Odyssey was the best-selling game for the month. But that's an indication that to some extent some players are willing to do it. Hopefully, they're going to continue to take a hard stand like they did with Star Wars Battlefront 2. And like I said again, I'm really proud of the gamers for doing this. I know I really want to play the game. I really want to get my hands on it, but I'm not willing to do it as the game is at this moment. So continue to make a hard stand, and hopefully they'll change this for good once they come back to apply any of those loot phrases.
Yep. I agree. I inadvertently turned off our intro music, so I apologize if you guys listening in the background right now. I'm sorry about that. I was typing a comment. It had a number 1. That's my hotkey for music. So I'm sorry. Anyway, let's move. I agree with Caliones. So let's do this. Let's move on to the next one, baby. Let's move to the next comment. I think let's start lifting the spirits and bring some good news. I have a quick good news though. It's not the get in or get out Nintendo podcast, but I did wanted to bring the Nintendo won the MPDs. Nintendo came out. It hasn't come out yet, but Nintendo came out and said that the Switch was the number 1 selling console, and second place was the Super NES Mini. And Mario Odyssey, even though it came October 27, was the number 1 selling game of the month, showing that you don't need You don't need loot crates to sell and make money. Just saying, you don't need. Hey, if you want to make this game so expensive to make because you want to make sure that hair flows in the wind, it's your problem. But you can make awesome games like Mario Odyssey, and you don't need loot crates, and you can still make pretty good money. So
Yeah, and like Sean Tyler stated that he's I mean basically angry that you got to shell out $60 for Battlefront 2, and you need to put additional money into it just so you can be better at it. But that's the thing. So yeah, just asking you guys. I know it's just it's $60, but if they were to give you the game free, if the game itself was free to play, would you be willing to go ahead and have all the loot crates and everything else because the company is giving you the game free up front? Would that be a better solution for this? Or do you just want to play the 60, just pay $60 and you already have everything and don't have to worry about getting anything else? So which one would you like? Free to play game and then you buy loot crates if you want to, or $60 and then you don't have to worry about getting anything else at all. So which one would you like? If you can, just go ahead and post it on the comment section so we can discuss it later. But we're going to be moving on to a different story on here. So Dantes, you can go ahead and take out Star Wars Battlefront from playing on there so people can see our ugly faces again.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, because it's not related to Star Wars Battlefront, so we got to do it. We're forced to.
Okay,
but
keep talking while I find the hotkey.
The 2017 Game Award nominees have been announced, including the Game of the Year candidates. So far, the Game of the Year candidates include Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So when the games were announced, a lot of people were happy, they were surprised, but I actually consider one of those games like it probably shouldn't be in there, which is what we're going to be talking about. So Dantes, tell me what you think, and tell me what game do you think I'm talking about?
Of course, you're talking about PUBG. We both agree that it does not belong on that list because the game hasn't come out. In theory, it's still what do you call it, Calianos? What is it called?
Early access.
Early access game. How are you making a game be Game of the Year being early access? You're giving the bullshit, because to me, early access is still a little bit of bullshit, to clarify. Because games can say, we're still in early access and never chill out that game. And the money that you put in there, you never own it in a sense, right? So I don't like early access games. But it doesn't belong there. But it is. But the other 4 games on that list is awesome. This is one of the best years in gaming, no doubt. And the other 4 games that I'm talking about is, and let's go through them: Zelda Breath of the Wild, awesome game. Mario Odyssey, awesome game. Horizon Zero Dawn, awesome game. And I haven't played Persona 5, which I will play next year, but my RPG peeps are saying it's an awesome game. So, and I'm happy that Persona made it too. That's a niche game making it to the Games of the Year's award. To me, that's great. That's great. So again, I don't think PUBG deserves it. But here's the interesting point of it, right? 4 of the 5 games on that list are exclusives. And a lot of people keep saying, oh, Microsoft doesn't need exclusives. They have multiplayer games. They have multi-platform games, sorry. And look at that. That shows you, that's good showing for your system when you have exclusive games being nominated for your system, right? So I'm happy about the list. I'm really looking forward. I'm hoping PUBG better not win, because the show is gonna be on the Microsoft I don't know, Theater, Microsoft Theater. Yeah, I think it is. That's where the show is gonna be hosted. So Microsoft could be shelling out some good money to make PUBG win. And if PUBG win, that's going to be a lot of angry gamers for sure, because I don't think that game deserves to be there. But anyway, what do you think about the list? And then after you say what you think about the list, we can give percentage of chances of the game winning. So we're not going to say what we think is the best game, because we're going to do our own Game of the Year edition. But let's say probability of that game winning across the board, and we'll go there again 100%. So please do math. If you say that one is 25, don't come and say that the other one is 90%. So anyway, just thinking about it that way. But Calianos, go ahead. What do you think about the list?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask is, Okay, so you have PUBG. Has the game officially launched yet?
Nope.
Does the game have a single review score on Metacritic?
Nope.
So what? Why is the game on the list, anyways? Why is it on there? Like, it doesn't make any
Because I think
sense.
it's on Microsoft's theater, right? They had to pay some money. Microsoft was like, 2 Sony games, 2 Nintendo games, and nothing from us? I'm not just joking with my Xbox buddies over there. What's up, Boomer? Sorry. But, you know, it is the truth that something is fishy having PUBG be in that list. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, and I'll say this. We've already talked about it before, and I mentioned it before that PUBG is the most important game for Microsoft and the Xbox brand going forward. The game is gonna come out on the Xbox One on December 12th, and I believe it's still gonna be on the early access anyway. It's not gonna be an official launch; it's just early access. But still, it's a game that has close to like 15 million or more players. It could be going, like getting closer to the 20 million mark, but it even though it is a great game, even though it's selling like crazy, but it still hasn't been officially released. Not a single person has reviewed the game, so there are no nothing that can say that the game should be part of it. So this is where I think the Game Awards should be clear. They should say, okay, for the game to be eligible for the Game Awards, for any award, unless you have an early access award. But one, it has to have, it has to be officially launched, and two, it has to have probably X amount of reviews on record when it comes to the game. But the game has none of those, but still they went ahead and put it on there. I don't think it deserves to be there, and it certainly does not deserve to win. Now, once it officially launches for the 2018 Game Awards, yes, it should be eligible for those, but not for this one. So I'm not knocking the game down on the quality of the game because it is. There's a reason why over 50 million people have purchased the game because of how good it is and how clever it is with the game and the gameplay itself. But it just should not be there. It does not belong there. So I think some other game, maybe like Near Automata, should be there instead of it,
Or
and
Neo.
uh, or Neo as well. So as far as the my percentages when it comes to the games, I still believe that I'll say more than likely when it comes to well, I'll say this: PUBG has a 10% chance of winning. Then Zelda has a 30% chance versus a 20% chance of Super Mario Odyssey winning. So that already is 65%. And then you can probably put uh, maybe 20% chance or 25% 20% chance for um, for Horizon Zero Dawn and a 15% chance on Persona 5. So I think it's probably going to be like that for me.
I didn't do the math, so I want to trust you got to 100% there. But this is my percentages. I put Super Mario Odyssey at 40%. I think that's the strongest contender on the list. It should be the one winning game of the year. Is it my game of the year? No. But it is the most polished, well-made game this year, right? And if you account for that, that should be the game of the year. But I put 40% on it. Then I put Zelda at 20%, right? And I tied it up with PUBG at 20. And the reason I put Zelda and PUBG tied is because there's something fishy going on with PUBG. So there's maybe a higher percentage that I expected to be for PUBG to be there. So it's a crapshoot. But we may get surprised. Maybe Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it did early this year, did move a lot of heads, right? So we'll see what happens. Then I put Horizon Zero Dawn at 10% and Persona 5 at 10%. I think both games are kind of in the same range. They're going to be lower tier considerations to win. Even though I love Horizon Zero Dawn, I know that it's not going to win. I'm just happy that it got even nominated, right? So at least just showing some Sony love in this. And then I'm also happy. I'm just happy that Persona 5 is nominated because it's showing that JRPGs are back. And then we're having a great year for JRPGs. And it's going to cap with one of the baby Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Go buy it, please, please. Anyway, so I'm just happy that Persona and Horizon are there. But to me, the top 3 contenders are PUBG, Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild.
Yes, and well, so I mean, I have it the other way around, but that's something I will go ahead and go into further detail on the get on the podcast when we talk about our game of the years. But the thing is, yes, you talked about how 4 of the games are exclusives, and the only one that is not really exclusive is PUBG. But PUBG is still going to be a console exclusive when it comes to the Xbox One.
So here's what I'm saying: it's not exclusive, right? Because if you account for the whole year, oh, I think you froze, Caliones. Are you alive? Ooh, we lost him. People, we lost Caliones. Caliones, come back. Let's see if I think we lost him completely. He completely froze. Interesting picture. Chicky, 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 chicky. Chicky, chicky, chicky. Caliones. Hey. Anyway, I'm going to hang up and call him back again, and maybe he'll be back in charge. He completely went down. Let me see. Let me call him back. There we go. Still calling him? Yeah. He fell down. I think I'm going to have to take on this show alone. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Chad, how you doing? Chad is popping. Arrow, what's up? Welcome. Xenoblade. Yes, Xenoblade. I'm also pumped for Xenoblade. I know you're really pumped for your waifu, Pyra. So, thank you, Arrow, for joining us. Dantes the Gamer. I don't know what happened. I just don't know. It's Caliones just completely fell. He froze in time and in space. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see him. What I was going to explain to Caliones why I feel PUBG doesn't belong or can't say it's an Xbox game is because it hasn't come out on Xbox, and it's coming on Xbox on December. And games coming out in December do not apply for Game of the Year that year. So that's why Xenoblade Chronicles is not for Game of the Year. Aside that when the time the reviews come out, they already have showed the game. So it is what it is. But I'm hopeful that maybe Xenoblade gets their sun in the time to shine next year in the Game of the Years. I'm hoping a nice, yeah, that's correct, Arrow. I'm hoping Xenoblade gets a really good score. I'm thinking a little bit over 85. I mean, reading all the previews for Xenoblade. A lot of Xenoblade fans already have the game for review copies. So I'm thinking that there's a big chance that Xenoblade could end up around 85 on Metacritic. But we'll see. We'll see. I guess while Caliones is out, I'll just keep going and do the news, right? Let's go with the next piece of news here. I'm pumping it over here. Next piece of news is, again, with all the backlash of Battlefront. Hey, there's Caliones. Nope. I don't know what happened to him. There we go. Yeah, he's back. He's back. La 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 la.
So hopefully you continue on there, so you wouldn't leave the people alone on here. So
no, I continue. I made fun of you. I was poking your nose because your picture just froze. So I was trying to poke your nose and clean it. Also, I was joking that you froze in time. But no, I was quickly explaining to clarify, Caliones, what I was saying is that I don't account PUBG as an Xbox game because it hasn't come out on Xbox this year. And games coming out in December do not count for Game of the Year typically. That's why Xenoblade Chronicles is not nominated. So to me, the PC version of PUBG is the one nominated, not the Microsoft version because it has not come out, pure and simple. So that's why Microsoft, and I'm sorry, Boomer. This is what it is, my friend. I'm telling you right now, son. Oh, wait. I lost connection too now. Hopefully people are talking to me. Anyway, my picture.
Yeah, you're still on you're still on there, so I can still hear you.
You can still hear me, but I'm just saying that completely froze now. My picture now completely froze. Something is going on. My God, the gremlins are attacking. Anyway, I'll finish my point and then I'll fix it. But what I was saying.
Yeah, this is probably Colin Moriarty because he's coming back to gaming again, so he's trying to sabotage us before we take over.
Probably. But what I was saying is that you cannot account, sorry Boomer, you cannot put PUBG as a Microsoft game because it has not come out on the Xbox. It's a PC game, so Microsoft gets none for Game of the Year. Anyway, Caliones, any thoughts of that?
Yeah, I mean, just basically we made the point if it's something either they got to change how the specifics of what games they consider or what are the requirements for those games to be Game of the Year. So they need to make those extremely clear so that games like PUBG don't get nominated. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be nominated, but it probably should be nominated next year when the game officially launches and reviewers can actually review the game. Since Metacritic doesn't have a single review there anyway. So, but yeah, other than that, I still feel confident that a game other than PUBG is going to win the award because it's not saying that PUBG doesn't deserve it, but they deserve it next year, not this year. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it, and we'll delve into specifics of what games we believe should be Game of the Year and why on those.
So anyway, while you were out, I also started speaking about the next piece of news. I'll take it over, and then you can continue with the news. But what I was explaining or talking about, and let me find it again, was the EA, after the whole debacle with loot crates, they were also trying to hype other games that they're trying to bring. So basically, EA teases a new action game. Says it has never before seen gameplay elements. Oh my God. I'm guessing it has more loot crates. I'm guessing now that the never seen gameplay is going to be that the loot crates are going to come down from the sky, and then they're going to pop up in a wheel, and then they're going to show you the roulette of the game, the possible microtransactions you could buy, and then you can spend money to increase the odds of getting the specific item. Oh my God! It's revolutionary, Caliones.
And and what you have never seen before is that you can actually click on the loot crate. You can click on the send button, and you can send a link to that specific loot crate to your grandparents, so they can actually purchase it for you, and then it can open in game. So you can actually send the loot crates to other people, so they can put money into it. And you can actually open accounts or where people can donate, so you can open those loot crates. So. And what they should do it is just have it as trophy. So on the map it shows you where you found all the loot crates,
yes.
but then it shows a lock where it hasn't unlocked because you haven't paid for it. So that should be something else to implement.
And then when you click on the loot crates, if you have a YouTube channel, it automatically sends a video that you post automatically showing opening the loot crate, and you go, "Oh my God, that's innovative, EA! Thank you. I'm looking forward to that game. That's for sure." Shove it up your ass, EA. Anyway,
but I like how they say that because action is clearly the place we're missing the most. So they are saying that when it comes to action, those are the type of games that they're missing the most. So I'm wondering, like, what is Battlefield for them? What is Star Wars Battlefront? Are those not action games? Are they what, like turn-based RPGs or what?
No, they're loot crate. It's a new genre. It's called battle action loot crates. Yes, that's the new genre. So instead of battle royale, it's gonna be battle loot crates. That's the new genre they're coming up with. Anyway, let's go with the next piece of news.
Okay, and the next piece of news is actually some good news for Microsoft. So I mean, it didn't really sell to the extent of a Switch or PS4, but the Xbox One X sells 1,344 units on its first week of release in Japan, placing it at number 8. So that's a lot more than the Xbox One was selling because it was hovering at around 100. So it's like a 130% increase on sales. So, actually not 130% increase, probably like a 1,300% increase when it comes to sales, console sales. So that's a big increase, going from 100 to 1,300. So I mean, it is Japan. They've always shied away from the Xbox brand. They haven't really invested or
smart people.
So yes. Well, I mean, and plus the PS Vita has like 20 more games releasing within the next 6 months. So they're still putting money into those.
Smart people. I'm telling you, there's smart people out there. But joking aside, I know the numbers are bad, but I know I mess with Xbox. I apologize, Boomer. I mess with Xbox, but I myself picked the next news, which is really good news about Microsoft. So, Caleones, go ahead and explain how well Microsoft did in the UK.
Okay, in the UK, it says that the Xbox One S reportedly has outsold the PS4 Pro in the UK. So, it not only has outsold the PS4 Pro, but it matches the Switch in its UK debut. So,
What? No, that's good. Good news, Microsoft. Good job. I think you got all the suckers buying your system again, but that's all good. Hey, they making you money right now. They want the power of the X. They want to feel that power, that enhancements that the game that it gives you. I think that's where Microsoft is. It's winning right now. Like always, the interesting news: every console launches really good. We have to see if they can keep up the momentum, and we see if the next following months they keep selling with the new console. We'll see.
Yeah, and I'll say, like this one is actually more important because I know we talked about the Japan numbers and we made fun of it, but Microsoft doesn't need Japan to be successful. They didn't need it for the Xbox One. They didn't need it for the Xbox 360. They've never needed it. So they don't care about how much they sell in Japan. They care about Europe and they care about the U.S. Specifically because U.S. should be their top market. UK is Sony's market, but by having a better launch than the PS4 Pro and matching the Switch, those are pretty good numbers. So it's a pretty good start for the Xbox One X. I know the $500 price point is still hard for a lot of people to invest in, but the good thing about this is that when it comes to third-party games, multiplayer games, the Xbox One X does give you the best experience when it comes to those games. So people are going to be getting the Xbox One S not really for first party exclusive, even though most of the first party exclusives like Halo 5 do support the Xbox One X, does have the upgrade, do have the 4K access assets, so you can get that experience as well. But when it comes to third party, it seems like Xbox One X will give you the best experience out of all the systems. So knowing how games like FIFA 18, NBA 2K18, and games like that sell, then it's going to be a really good alternative to a lot of people. But we'll see. Hopefully it continues. Like you said, systems always sell good when they first launch, unless you are the Virtual Boy. But they always sell good when it launches. So we'll see if this carries over and continue, especially next week, since you have Black Friday coming over next week.
Oof, Black Friday. We'll see. I'm still voting that Nintendo wins Black Friday, but we shall see. Go ahead, Carlos.
Okay, so moving over to the next news, and we're starting to get more companies, kind of like doing collaborations when it comes to different games. So this time we have Tekken 7 receives a new playable character, which is Noctis from the Final Fantasy 15 games. So Dantes, you've said it before that you regretted getting the game at first because of so many expansions and things that you would have rather gotten it at the end of it. But now, is Noctis going to make you get Tekken 7 to be able to play in the game?
No, he's not. He's no Cloud. I have bought games in the past just to have Cloud. I still remember, and I can't remember the title. There was a 3D fighting game called Air Gaze, something like that. I don't remember. And it was with Final Fantasy characters, and you could play Cloud, you could play Tifa, and they were all fighting. And I bought that game, which even though it was shitty, just to play as Cloud. Noctis is no Cloud, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, but I'll put it this way. Noctis actually puts Tekken 7 up there because you have one of the most beloved Final Fantasy characters ever in Noctis on Tekken 7, while Nintendo has a lesser character in Cloud for Super Smash Brothers. So it kind of like,
come on, Calion. Come on, really, Calion. I know you're joking right now. I was gonna say Noctis is not a bad character. I don't mind it. Final Fantasy 15 is not a bad game. It's just it had a lot of plot holes, and they're filling those plot holes, but they're filling a little bit late. I'm even thinking of replaying the game next year to have that run through, but then I'm always gonna have that first experience, or that is not gonna come back, and the first experience is always the most critical in a game. So we'll see what happens. Hey, it's good for Tekken. The gameplay looks great. Noctis seems to play great in Tekken. So, people who like him, good job.
Well, and moving over to the next one, and this one, I don't know, it's making people that still play Pokemon Go and support the game a little bit uncomfortable, and that's because Niantic is going to be developing a Harry Potter game. It's going to be an AR game in the same sense that you play the Pokemon Go games. They haven't really said it, given any other details other than it's going to be a Harry Potter game. But you can imagine by using the AR, maybe you're going to be looking for Voldemort and fighting against him. Or the raids and those characters, or maybe you can do one-on-one battles against other people, like using your wizard powers. So either way, Niantic said that this is not going to take away from Pokemon Go. It's not going to affect their updates on Pokemon Go, but still, they're working on a new Harry Potter game. So we'll see how this turns out. But that's at least here the last piece of news that we have.
I don't know what to say about that last piece of news. I don't give a crap about Harry Potter or Potter. Harry Potter.
So do you really want to close the show with the Harry Potter news?
I don't know. I come up with the news, but I don't know what to finish the show with. I don't know. I thought it was big. I thought that. Imagine, it's Harry Potter in a Pokemon Go game. That's awesome. And I don't give a flying of Harry Potter. So I'm guessing a lot of people are just going to be flying on broomsticks, wee, around in the park instead of catching Pokemon. I don't know, Calionis. Good for them. They're going to make money too on that shit, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I just want to use this time as a reminder that, I mean, this is the holiday season. We're going to have Black Friday.
You miss news. Right? No.
What?
No, you did all of them. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like next week is going to be Black Friday. You're going to have all those specials when it comes to games. So people don't shell out any money right now. You wait until next week when you can get most of those games for, $25, $35. And so you can have a bigger library so you can enjoy it through the holidays. And yeah, and when it comes to Nintendo games, we already discussed it on the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast. But you have games like LA Noire already released. Batman the Telltale series already came out. You have Doom that already came out. You have the Farming Simulator that came out. So then you have games like Rhyme, which came out as well, already digitally. Then you have other games coming out through other months like Skyrim, which will be coming out as well. So there's a lot of third-party games on the Switch. Supported, get them, buy them. I know that there's a campaign online to try to get Doom to sell 1 million copies on the Switch. I don't know if it actually needs to go that far, but please support the games. And this is my segment of me begging. Please buy third-party games on the Switch.
Okay. This is not the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, but I'll allow it. It's all good. I'll allow it. I brought up the Mario Odyssey 1 MPDs, so it's all good. We can show our Nintendo love here and there. I'm just trying to keep this podcast more neutral, even though I shitted on Xbox the whole freaking night. But we're still neutral. So, Boomer, if you want to join us again anytime, 3 at a time, we can have a discussion why PlayStation is better than Xbox. But anyway, aside from that, let's end the show. I'm tired. I've been working hard.
Okay, so...
No, you don't want to end the show? Come on, man.
What about this for the last piece of news?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, what?
Okay, and it's a little Nintendo related, but not Nintendo system related. Okay, so we have Justice Smith, which is one of the actors from Netflix's The Get Down, and he has been cast as the lead on the Detective Pikachu movie. So it's going to be by Universal Studios. The Detective Pikachu movie is moving forward. And before you say anything, I actually do believe that Detective Pikachu would be a better movie than a regular Pokemon movie, because then you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon. It's going to be a CG fest, and it's going to turn out to like the last Airbender or something like that. So with this, it's going to be a live action movie. You're going to have real people there with Detective Pikachu as a CG character. So I know people are complaining that Danny DeVito wasn't cast as Detective Pikachu, but they haven't specified who he's going to play. They said he's going to be the lead in the upcoming movie, which means that he could be the main character. where the Detective Pikachu and the one that he interacts with and goes with him, and whose father they're trying to find. So there's still some hope that Danny DeVito can be the voice of Detective Pikachu, which he would be perfect for. So that was the last piece of news.
No. We're not gonna end with that crap. Did you watch the new Deadpool trailer?
Deadpool trailer.
That's
Yes.
a movie. That is a movie. Go watch the new Deadpool trailer. That was funny and awesome. Deadpool imitating Bob Ross. So you can pick with this. You can start talking with this sweet voice. I need to paint a little bit of tree here. Oh, look at how beautiful the colors look. Oh my God. We can squeeze it over here. Squeeze it. Oh, it feels good. It feels good squeezing the paint out of the brush. Anyway, with that said, let's end the show.
Yeah, you got that microphone way too close to you.
Oh well, my camera fell again. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna leave it on that standstill. It's a beautiful picture of me having oh, my nose looks huge on that picture. Hey, that's fine. Hey, you know what they say, baby? The bigger the better. Anyway, let's go and end the show. Let's put a little bit of music here.
Yeah, and go ahead and put a shoe on your nose as well.
A shoe on my nose? Why am I gonna put a shoe on my nose?
Because you're talking about how big, and we're talking about feet, not noses. But you're using the nose as the same guiding source, so might as well.
Let me see if I can fix it quick here. There we go. I'm back. There we go.
You know what? You can just put the please subscribe graphic on there from now before we forget.
Oh yeah, I always forget all that.
Where you do the closing.
But still, let's go. Let's finish the show. It's been like one of those days when everything technically can go wrong. Caliones was having problems before we started the show getting the camera to work. Then he's the one who crashed. Then my camera crashed. It's just been a fun night. So let's end it. There you go. There's the music. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at Force In Unison Live, episode 12, right here on the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast. Go and get out Nintendo podcast. Baby, I'm getting a call from work. It's fun. I should pick it up. Right now. I'm joking right now. I'll call you back, Bob. Give me a minute. Aside from that, let me end it by saying the Nintendo podcast is every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, remember, we have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, Hernandez says finally work sucks. Hernandez says finally go to chigarosnews.com and give some click and love to my boy Caliones. Before I start crying, with all that said, let me put the picture of showing the. Please, thanks for watching and subscribe.
And let's hope your job is not watching the live stream, or else they're gonna know.
Hey, if they fire me, probably gonna be better. Anyway, thank you, everybody. See you. Good night.
Hey, have a good night, everyone.